Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal heartbreak ahead for Brooke Logan on the CBS soap. Taylor Hayes' return has caused chaos in her relationship with Ridge Forrester, and it's only going to get worse. Here's what's happening next on Bold and Beautiful, spoilers ahead. If there was a trophy for playing it cool, it would have Brooke Logan's name on it. Since Taylor came back to Los Angeles, Brooke has watched her flirt with Ridge and trusted he would remain loyal to her. Brooke didn't anticipate a deadly broken heart syndrome diagnosis. Since Taylor's super-secret trip to the hospital, Brooke has noticed a change in Ridge and can tell he is hiding something. B&B spoilers say Brooke Logan will come to the obvious conclusion that Ridge is cheating on her with his ex-wife Taylor. It's no secret Taylor is still in love with him, and since learning she was sick, Ridge hasn't left her side. The only thing is, Taylor has sworn him to secrecy. If Ridge doesn't tell Brooke what is really going on, no one can blame her for thinking he is getting ready to leave her and run off with Taylor. It wouldn't be the first time. Bold and the Beautiful viewers have watched Brooke's battle with sobriety over the years, and it wasn't too long ago she fell off the wagon and got caught up in a mess with Deacon Sharp. Brooke's battle with the bottle seems to coincide with her tumultuous love life. Rumor has it, Brooke Logan will end up drowning her sorrows and begin drinking again. That always makes for some interesting daytime television. Do you feel a little bad for Brooke, or are you hoping for a Ridge and Taylor reunion? Will Brooke be able to stay sober? Brooke Logan stood at the top of the Forrester mansion stairs, staring down at the lavish gathering below. Elegant chandeliers bathed the room in soft golden light, casting a warm glow on everyone but her. All around, the guests sipped champagne, exchanged pleasantries, and reveled in their own luxurious lives. But Brooke felt none of it. A bitter chill clung to her as she watched, a darkness lurking beneath the surface of her outward poise. She gripped the railing tightly, her knuckles white. For years, she had been known as the resilient Brooke Logan, the woman who rose from her mistakes, who survived heartbreak after heartbreak, who faced every betrayal with a defiant smile. But tonight that image was cracking. Her control, once so ironclad, was slipping through her fingers like sand. And the more she tried to hold on, the more it eluded her. At the center of the gathering stood Ridge Forrester, her on-again, off-again lover, husband, and tormentor. He was laughing, his arm draped around Taylor Hayes. Brooke's stomach churned at the sight of them together, their intimacy undeniable. Taylor, always the righteous one, had swooped in and claimed Ridge once more, wrapping him in her calculated serenity. It wasn't fair. None of it was fair. Brooke had tried, oh how she had tried, to move on, to be better, to stay sober. But tonight, the familiar demons whispered to her, beckoning with promises of temporary relief. The sharp edges of betrayal and loneliness had worn her down. She felt like she was on the precipice of something darker, something she had fought so hard to escape. She closed her eyes, her breath trembling. The scent of champagne floated through the air, mingling with the soft hum of piano music and the distant chatter of the elite. Her throat tightened as the temptation swelled inside her. It had been years since she'd had a drink, years of hard work and painful growth. But that bitter taste of rejection, of abandonment, gnawed at her heart like a relentless predator. And tonight, it was winning. "You don't need him," she muttered to herself, her voice barely a whisper. "You don't need any of them." But even as she said it, her gaze drifted to the bar. Crystal glasses filled with sparkling champagne, deep red wines, and golden liquors shimmered in the candlelight, as if calling out to her. Brooke could hear the seductive promise of numbness. Just one drink, the voice in her mind purred. One sip, and all the pain will disappear. She glanced around the room, hoping someone would notice her internal struggle, hoping someone would reach out and stop her. But they were all too consumed with their own worlds. Katie, her sister, was in a deep conversation with Carter Walton. Steffi Forrester was laughing with Finn, her gaze occasionally darting toward Liam, who was watching Hope from a distance. And there was Ridge, still wrapped up in Taylor, his attention nowhere near Brooke. "Fine," Brooke whispered. If no one else cares, why should I? Her heels clicked sharply against the marble floor as she descended the stairs, her movements determined yet fragile. The closer she got to the bar, the louder the voice in her head became. Memories of her past mistakes rushed forward. Moments of weakness, of losing herself to alcohol and hurting the people she loved. She remembered the hurt in her children's eyes, the disappointment in Ridge's voice when he found out she had fallen before. But none of that mattered now. All she could think about was the raw ache inside her, the bitterness that had taken root. Brooke reached the bar and stood there for a moment, staring at the array of bottles before her. Her fingers hovered over a glass, shaking slightly. She closed her eyes, inhaling deeply, trying to summon the strength to turn away. But it was too late. The storm inside her had built to a crescendo, and there was no stopping it now. "Can I get you something?" the bartender asked, his voice smooth and professional. Brooke hesitated for a moment longer, then nodded. "Yes," she said, her voice barely audible. "A vodka martini, dry." The words felt foreign on her tongue, but there was a sense of inevitability to them. The bartender moved swiftly, pouring the drink with practiced ease. Brooke watched as the clear liquid filled the glass, the olive swirling gently as it settled. This was her choice, her fall from grace. She had fought for so long to stay clean, to be the Brooke Logan everyone admired. But tonight she was tired of fighting. The bartender handed her the glass, and Brooke stared at it, her reflection shimmering in the liquid. She could see the cracks in her facade, the pain she had buried for so long. For years, she had tried to be the perfect woman, the perfect wife, the perfect mother. But the pressure had finally broken her. Without another thought, she lifted the glass to her lips and took a long, slow sip. The alcohol burned as it slid down her throat, but with it came a strange sense of relief. The edges of her pain dulled, if only for a moment, and the weight on her shoulders lifted ever so slightly. Brooke took another sip, then another. The room around her began to blur, the lights and sounds fading into the background. She wasn't sure how much time passed, but when she finally set the empty glass down, she felt lighter. The bitterness inside her hadn't disappeared, but it had been numbed, pushed aside by the alcohol. As she stood there, staring at the empty glass, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Hope, her daughter, looking at her with a mixture of concern and disappointment. "Mom," Hope said softly, her voice tinged with sadness. "What are you doing?" Brooke opened her mouth to respond, but the words wouldn't come. She looked down at the empty glass again, the weight of her actions suddenly crashing down on her. She had fallen off the wagon. Again. Tears welled up in Brooke's eyes as the reality of what she had done sank in. She had let herself be consumed by bitterness, by jealousy, by her own insecurities. And now she was paying the price. "I'm sorry," Brooke whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry." Hope wrapped her arms around her mother, pulling her into a tight embrace. "It's okay, Mom. We'll get through this. We always do." But even as she held her daughter close, Brooke couldn't shake the overwhelming sense of failure. She had fallen, and this time she wasn't sure she could find her way back.